Hi, I'm Ray Young. I'm an emeritus professor from the University of Wisconsin in Madison, and I'm continuing with my series of lectures about the brief history of Thessaloniki. And today I'm going to be talking about the Roman occupation. Now, in my previous lecture, I briefly mentioned the Hellenistic period, the founding of Thessaloniki in 315 BC. And today I'll be going through the Roman era from 168 BC to 329 AD, a period of 500 years. The Roman occupation was a relatively straightforward process. You can see on the lower left side the city of Brindisi, Italy. The current city of Brindisi was along the Appian Way. And the Roman legions could cross right into Albania and follow across the northern part of Greece, Macedonia. And you can see here, I'll point out Thessaloniki along what is called the Agora Way as a complement to the Appian Way, which went all the way to Byzantium. So the Roman legions could easily make their occupation of this area of Greece. Now here's the map. I've shown this previously of Thessaloniki. And the Romans built the walls and the Acropolis at the northern part of the city, of 7 towers, and then the Roman Agora in the center of the city, shown here in my pointer, and then the Palace of Galerius, or the Galerian complex. The Roman Emperor Galerius occupied the city and controlled the city, and that's shown down in the lower right. And it's a complex of a mausoleum, an arch, and the Hippodrome, which I'll point out in the next slide. So here's the historic Thessaloniki, the Citadel, or the Acropolis. You can see on the upper left is an older view of it, and more recent photos in the bottom. It was certainly a protective structure to begin with. Then it became a prison, and now it's a museum in the city. Here's a view of some of the city walls to the right. During the Turkish occupation, you can see looks like a couple of Muslim girls, and there's minarets down in the lower city in the slide. And on the left are some of the walls in the modern city, and about half the walls remained. They were half removed during the Turkish occupation. Okay, this is that Galerian complex, or Galerian Palace that I mentioned. They were built by the Roman Emperor Galerius, and he occupied it. And I point out what we thought was originally a mausoleum, but he was never buried in there. It probably was a temple, and it later became a Orthodox church, Christian Orthodox, and then a mosque, and now it's simply a museum structure. And then there's a little small structure shown here, and there's an arch under that. And this whole palace complex went all the way down to the sea, with the Hippodrome off to the southeast, as shown in the slide. Okay, here's another view. Again, a computer depiction of the Galerian complex shown on the left, with the mausoleum, what is called the Rotunda now, is shown here on the right in the modern Thessaloniki. It's still a minaret present. Then the arch is under this little house structure, and the arch is shown on the right slide and at the lower slide. And you can see this Arch of Galeria has a number of engravings, and these were commemorating the success of the Emperor Galerius over the Persian forces in a battle. And now the Hippodrome, which is on the lower southeast. If you look on the left slide, you can still see the rotunda and the big avenue running down to the sea, which is the area of the ruins of the palace. And to the right on that slide, where that large condo structure is where the Hippodrome existed. Now, the Hippodrome has a very ominous history. One of the charioteers racing in this got in a conflict, and one of the Roman emperors, or officials, not the emperor, but one of the officials was murdered or killed. And as a result, the Emperor Theodotus, which was the emperor at the time, ordered the slaughter by his Gothic troops, and they killed 7,000 of the Thessalonians in one shot in this Hippodrome massacre. And this was very much frowned upon by the Roman emperor, and as a result, Theodosius lived in great remorse for the rest of his life. It's a very ominous fact in the history of Thessaloniki. And here's the Roman Agora, or marketplace, forum, in the center of Thessaloniki. It's still undergoing renovation and discovery, and it may be that it extended even farther out from this current site where some of these modern structures exist. And we can't forget that the Apostle Paul came to Thessaloniki, and when he started to sow the seeds of Christianity, he wrote the letters to the Thessalonians, telling them to persist in their religion and to sanctify the religion. He was both a Jew and a Roman citizen, but he converted to Christianity, and he arrived in Thessaloniki in 50 AD. But he was driven away by the angry Jews for proselytizing Christianity in their town, and then he continued on to the rest of the Mediterranean, spreading the word of God in Christianity. Okay. In my next series of lectures, my next lecture, I'll be talking about the Byzantine era, which was one of the longer areas of about 1,000 years, from 379 to 1423. And next time, we'll also introduce the Ottoman occupation. Thank you very much.